If you weren't in here earlier, I'm your track chair today, Clay Walsh from The Wild. Nice to see all of you. I don't really need this. Thank you. I'm so excited to be standing here next to Daniella. She's amazing. She's one of my sheroes. Even though she didn't know that until I told her a little while ago, sort of. Anyway, all right, let me introduce. I'm just such a Gravity Sketch fan. When I started using VR 4 years ago, it was one of the first apps that I picked up. And I wasn't so bad. Okay, we today are all here to hear from Daniella and the team at Adidas. First, I'm going to introduce the team at Adidas. So we have Pascal Scholes and Arnaud Senwan-Roman. Over there in the headsets. Pascal is a concept footwear designer at Adidas Innovation Team. Since more than 4 years, I don't need this mask. He is part of the Adidas Brooklyn Creative Farm and worked on several projects in running, basketball, and lifestyle. Some of his recent releases were products in the Future Natural range, including a shoe designed in collaboration with Pharrell Williams. In his role as designer, he focused on combining a distinctive design language with athlete insights and functional requirements. And then Arnaud. He's a director of footwear innovation for Adidas in Brooklyn. He's responsible for leading holistic innovation concepts born from athletes' insights and built for athlete benefits. In his previous role as lead soccer footwear designer at Adidas headquarters in Germany, sleek, intuitive, and sharp designs for Adidas have revolutionized technological design and has set a new aesthetic benchmark for soccer boots. Okay, now we're going to talk about Daniella. Okay, where is that? She's a Latina designer, considered one of the most innovative women in the UK, although she's currently in Mexico City. Her passion for placing the human at the center of technology has led her to co-found Gravity Sketch, an immersive 3D design software that is shaking up the creative world, helping teams create and collaborate around 3D concepts using immersive technologies. Gravity Sketch is being used by Fortune 500 companies, me, and transforming the way design is done. Welcome, Daniella and team at Adidas.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah, right? Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's really great to be here in person, finally, after 2 years. And, well, I mean, you know what we're going to be presenting. It's actually the work that the team at Adidas have been doing with Gravity Sketch. They're truly revolutionizing the way design is done in the sportswear industry. And so today we're going to be covering the footwear workflow that they're now following. And before we jump, we're going to be jumping into Collab, which is a feature within Gravity Sketch that they have been using. And we're going to be presenting there. We have Arnaud and Pascal here, but we also have some other people in different parts of the world joining inside of Collab as well, presenting to you guys. So before we jump in there, we just wanted you to see their faces, and I'll just let them introduce themselves really quickly before we jump. Guys, over to you.
Marius, maybe you can go first.
Yeah, hey, sorry for being a bit late, but hey everyone, my name is Marius Jung. I'm a senior footwear designer here in Brooklyn, New York, working for Adidas in innovation. Really excited about this opportunity. Stra.
Hey everyone, sad that I cannot be there with the rest of the team, but still really excited to connect like this and to show you the work that we have been doing for the last year and a half. I'm Strahinja Spasic. I'm also in New York, in Brooklyn Innovation Center here, Adidas Innovation Center, and I'm really excited to show you the work that we have been doing with the team. I'll pass it over to Robbie.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm Robbie Stinchcomb. I've been working with the Adidas team for about 2 years and working with Gravity Sketch for almost 5 years now. I'm kind of an early adapter, and it's been awesome to watch how this tool has changed the industry, and I'm excited to share it with you guys today.
Cool. All right. Well, now without any further ado, let's jump into Gravity Sketch.
All right. I can take it on from here. Nice to meet everyone. Unfortunately, I wasn't really able to sign in. It seems like the Wi-Fi in Silicon Valley is like not working well. No, but jokes aside. So today we wanna guide you through our journey we had together with Gravity Sketch, and the whole thing was about like future natural. Before we like really dive into the actual design steps we were taking, I would love to just like say a couple words about the concept of future natural. So the idea was pretty much to create footwear that's tailored to the human body and allows natural movement without any restriction. So in other words, it should be the most adaptive shoe ever made, right? Adaptive to the foot, adaptive to movement, adaptive to different environments. And to get there, we actually realized we need to start with the base of it all, right? Which is the human foot. So we scanned it, we copied it, and we studied it to really understand, how to do this the best. And we also knew, like, we needed a tool that would allow us to really look at this from a 360 angle, right? From a new angle. And that's when we actually started to collaborate with Gravity Sketch. And, we were really able to, as we were proceeding, to really like look at the anatomy and really like build around the anatomy of the human foot. Maybe a couple of words about the technology for some of you that maybe know a little bit about footwear also. We looked into the most adaptive upper materials, obviously, like knits, etc., sock-like constructions. And for a midsole, it was actually direct injection, which means pretty much like you have the upper, and instead of gluing a midsole, it's just directly injected onto the upper to create a seamless 360 blur, pretty much, of like all the components and parts of the shoe. But enough of that. With that said, I think I would hand it over and go to the first station where Robbie will show you how we started the whole process.
Thanks, Pascal. Can everyone hear me? I hope so. Okay. So welcome. As Pascal said, we were briefed with a pretty unique concept of creating something that was purely based off of the foot. We're kind of breaking away from a lot of convention by using the human form instead of a last to try to create something that has more of an anatomical shape than a traditional shape. Now, usually in a workflow like this, we might print out a 2D image of a foot. We might be drawing on flat images, but I think what really allowed us to break free from that 2 dimensions was this tool of Gravity Sketch and being able to import a human foot straight into the program and start drawing around it. As you can see here, we can start iterating really quickly. We take one single 3D form of the foot and we can start sketching on it, creating underfoot platforms, and really accentuating from a first-hand perspective what really allows a human form to augment itself and create something that is as purely unique and new. So you can see some iterations in how quickly you can take a single line from a 2D or a 3D and have that be represented in an entirely new way. So here, you imagine that on a lateral sketch of a shoe, you might have a line like this that would be going across the foot, and you wouldn't be able to see it represented in any other way opposed to 3D, where we can really start to articulate complex shapes and complex motion really quickly, and then be able to duplicate this and ideate this. It's just about the most immersive sketch pad you could ever use. And especially as designers and in our process, we're really able to iterate quickly and reach a space where we can create a final product. Now, if you see here, we have an iteration that has been filled out and fleshed out a little bit more. And you can see just how complex we can get with these things. This was a concept that was purely based off the foot. And with that, I just got kicked out of the room. Bear with me 1 second. I guess the Wi-Fi just kicked me out. All right. And I'm back. Hey. But yeah, essentially what you're looking at is line art from a 3D sketch. And what makes this special is the fact that we can create comprehensive lines in a full design before we've even kind of put pencil to paper or made anything in the real world. And then from these iterations and from this exploration, you can start to use this to really around the room. So as you can see, like Gravity Sketch offers a lot of exploration, and once you get to a shape like this, or you've created a design like this, Gravity Sketch doesn't only just have 3D sketching lines, but can do surfaces as well. So we can bring this shoe over to the third room, where we can talk about how we surface this up.
On this first step, on this station, actually, we want to talk about how to work, how we work with surfaces and create volumes in the whole program. And we pretty much were looking into two options. The one that, Daniella is showing right now a couple of the initial sketches that were more like done in a 2D. But when you look around and you can see, Robbie, are you still there in the room? Yeah, perfect. You can actually see, perfect. What Robbie's doing now is pretty much like taking or importing the base he created in the previous stage, the line drawing, and just starting to populate it with surfaces, right, that are pretty much like railed around like the lines. So it's a pretty quick way to already build on the silhouette that you built out in the previous station, right, the proportion and everything, and build on that in this station, right. It's a very fast way to get to a more realistic model. And option 2 would actually be, and this is something, maybe Robbie, you want to grab the cube quickly and show how this is done? Yeah. This is actually just a way to create a quick volume out of a tube, right, based on a cube. So it's pretty much like taking the cube and just like extruding and building out of that. And as you can see, I mean, Robbie's doing this now since 10 seconds. It already has a kind of a foot-like shape, right? So it's a very quick way for us just like to get to a point where we have a more realistic view and understanding of like a volume. And when you look like to the right of you, there are a couple of, yes, exactly. There are a couple of options, and they were actually done this way, right? I mean, all of those volumes pretty much started with a cube. Yeah, so again, a very simple and very quick way for us to ideate. And especially here, I mean, again, like we were in that future natural world, so it was a lot about organic free forms, where also Gravity Sketch is like very helpful to really like ideate quickly. Yeah, and with that said, I think we can hand it over to the next station, where it was about detailing and communication.
Thanks, Pascal. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our third station, where we're going to talk more a little bit about detailing and communication in general. Here in this station, I mean, you've seen everything from line art and surfacing, and when it comes to this station here, we're really trying to look into different details that we're putting on the shoe, right? Like different eye stays, pull tabs, branding, ideation, laces in general, and everything, and to see really how everything comes together. Also in this station, this tool was really important for us to explain our ideas and concepts to the rest of the functions in the team, in the brand. And with that being said, I'm gonna pass it over to Robbie, where he can talk a little bit more about like how do we implement different teams and functions into our workflows here.
Thanks, Straw. So if you, Daniela, you look to your right, we're going to be showing you a scene that happens quite often at Adidas where we're in a co-sketch room, very similar to this, and we're discussing the design. So as Straw demonstrated, after you sketch up a shoe, surface it, and start to put details on it, we're starting to really design a product. And with this new way of designing the product, we also have to have a new way of doing product reviews. So here you can see a little scene with a developer right here and a designer right here. And they're pulling the shoe apart. Every single aspect of the shoe can be analyzed, can be annotated, and create this kind of virtual tech pack and spec everything out before anything is even real. So this is just one of the new ways that Gravity Sketch has allowed us to collaborate differently, not only with designers, but our different counterparts like development and marketing, to create something that is completely comprehensive, and being able to understand these small aspects and make design decisions without having any surprises. And so this has been huge for us to be able to communicate and articulate on this level of 3 dimensions fully immersively. And it helps us create tech packs that are much more informed, quicker, and easier. But after that's said, after you create a design and create multiple iterations and have these design reviews, like the product doesn't stop in Gravity Sketch. We can start to export these 3D aspects to new programs, and I'll give you to Marius to explain more of that.
Hey everyone. Thanks, Robbie, for the intro. I think personally, or for us as a team, this station is really exciting as well, because as Robbie just mentioned, you know, we come here to a stage where we really have like the final 3D object, and we have all of the details from like the liner, the surfacing, all of the pull tabs. So this is basically where we would look into like, okay, how we can visualize it on the next level. So what we would do from here is we would export that object out of Gravity Sketch and use tools like Keyshot, Substance Painter to get it on a new level of communication and refinement to fully bring it to life. Robbie, if you would be so kind, then highlight, perfect. So what you can see here on the right is a great example on how, I'm sorry, I think my joystick got a bit stuck. 1 second. It's going to recover in a second. But Daniela, if you want to move over to the other side, and I can talk from here maybe. So what you see on the other side is a highly detailed rendering where we really simulate, or where we're able to simulate light and shadow, where we're able to simulate all of the texture of the material, and all of a sudden you get like a really good feeling and understanding of how a concept can come to life. I think for us it's really important to mention that here, because you know we usually spend a lot of time in programs like Photoshop and Illustrator to define shadows, highlights, and make a concept come fully to life. So on the right you see like a more finalized product, but if you look here on the left, we also use it quite a lot for quick color iteration, or iterations on lighting to set a final mood or a final atmosphere for the project. For us, it's a really great tool to be really quick on just like visualizing content in a really great and detailed way, and communicate that with our colleagues, with the factories, of how our final vision should come to life. Daniela, if you want to move a bit further towards the
Marius, I think we're gonna leave it there because we run out of time. So we'll just wrap it with our now saying a few words.
Hello.
Okay.
So in general, I think you've seen a little bit now the compilation of all our work, right? From starting from the briefing, right, around the foot, and then going through each stage during our creation process, right? From sketching lines into the final rendering for internal purpose, also presentation, but as well, not to create the tech packs that Robbie was mentioning, right? So I hope that we gave a little bit of a scope of work, right? Our creation process in 3D. And now I think we can jump into the Q&A session. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to stand there. Congratulations. Thank you.
One thing that Arnaud forgot to say is that everything that you have been seeing there, it's a shoe that it's actually already in the market. So, and we're wearing them.
It's called the CXO. It's a shoe done with Pharrell Williams in collaboration. But there's also a performance version of it. So it's kind of like a training running shoe. It's more like, yeah, performance version.
I have some the microphones here, so we're going to start into the Q&A. We'll start with you. Thank you.
Hi, and how much are those shoes? That's the important question, right?
Sorry, what was it? What was the question?
Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah.
Sorry.
How much is it?
How much?
Yeah.
Is it 180? 180,
Oh,
I think it
that's
is.
Nice. Okay. Perfect.
What else we have here? So scared to step in front of that.
Okay, so you basically showed us how you design the shoe, but how do you take the design and then put it into reality in reference to its performance capabilities? Okay, so it looks nice, up there in the drawings and stuff, but as a runner, how are you measuring the capabilities of that shoe in reference to the impact and the movement of the foot, landing, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, I think, no, that's a great question. I think how you see in some of, or how you saw in some of the stages, right, when we're into, let's say, the final stage of the 3D model already, we can transfer, I think Marius and Robbie were mentioning, right, we can transfer into visualization more, like Keyshot, other softwares, but also into FEA, right, that we do simulation software. It's where we start to do kind of, let's say, 3-bending tests onto the tooling to see where the tooling needs flexing, where the tooling needs more flexibility. So we're running all these different work streams parallel. I think today, yeah, it was just a compilation of the, let's say, the design work, but for sure we have the talk with engineering, right, when we do all the simulation, right, parallel, right, and then we adjust continuously with the factory and with our partners.
Question back here.
What headset were you using?
I was using an Oculus Rift S, really old one, but it's the one that I like. And they were supposed to be using the Quest 2, but it wasn't working. But yeah, so Quest 2 usually, and that's the headsets that the guys use normally for their work.
Yeah. Question over here.
Hi. As a designer myself, using collaborative tools in real time has kind of changed the way that I even process the act of designing. Usually kind of a private thing. How has this process of designing collaboratively in VR changed the way the design process feels and the outcomes of the design process?
Thanks for the question. I think it's a really good one because it definitely changed the process a lot. And I think it has also a lot to do that, we went through a time of lockdown and pandemic, right, of almost 2 years. So this was definitely a tool that allowed us to still stay connected and still have a detailed discussion around, forms, around the designs we were creating. So I think it definitely has a big potential to change the industry and like really provide new perspectives. Also, like usually it's a later step in a footwear design process where you really like get to see a 3D, right? So like seeing a 3D in a very early stage is very helpful to just like dive into details and like, really like truly explore what this can be. So yeah, it definitely changed the perspective also on our process a lot. And I think next to the product itself, it's also, and I think you guys were seeing this, it's about creating a whole world, right? I mean, like in in times where there's no lockdown, we have a room with like mood boards, with like, you know, everything around us, samples, etc. And kind of like being able to recreate this in a virtual space was very helpful and was like pretty much helped us a lot to like stay creative and get that energy going even throughout the last 2 years. Yeah.
One more question. We have time for one more.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Cami Karras. I have a question about designing the space where you show the shoes. I think you do a really good job communicating. What I'm really curious about is I saw that there was grouping and some things were close together and some things had a lot of space around them and you had individual like compartments to show everything. And I thought it was really well put together, and I was wondering if there's a rule of thumb that you follow when deciding how much space goes around each area and each object.
Yeah, thanks for the question. You mean, I mean, the space that we created around each of the stages, right? So I think that was for us, I think, one of the first projects that we did, using the new tool. And I actually, the good thing was, that we could create all the environment around it, right? How we were defining the stations for today, it was to show, okay, the compilation of all the work reduced into 5 stages. But I think the amount of material that we put in each of the stages, it was just to make it, covering that time that we have today. But I think, yeah, I hope that I'm answering your question. That makes sense?
All right, let's give it up.
If you have any
so
more
much.
questions, we'll be outside in case you want to
Yeah.
get. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Arnaud, Pascal, and Daniella. Thank you. We'll be back here at 11:20. There is a coffee break scheduled at Mission City Lobby, sponsored by Niantic. So go get fueled up and take a break, and we'll see you back here for remote collaboration training and education track in this room B. Thank you.